So we start with the third group, or the latter part of the second segment. After explaining the stages of spiritual progress, the Guru begins the third group of verses, 114 to 118, which are inspirational, relating to the attainment of perfect purity. The soul has been engaging in feelings contrary to the true nature since time immemorial. Citing a simple example to briefly answer how such impure feelings of infinite past can be eliminated and how long would it take to eliminate them. You understand why I said inspirational? So the factual part is over. Now your questions, how long will I take to reach from verse 108 to verse 113, meaning the state explained, the state of the soul explained in verse 108 to the state of the soul explained in verse 113. How long would it take to eliminate the impure feelings or the karmas? So your question is how and how long? How? કેવી રીતે અને કેટલો time લાગશે? Are you curious? Then I should go. So how and how long? Both the questions are answered with an example in this verse. Guru says,
કોટી વર્ષનું સ્વપ્ન પણ જાગ્રત થતા શમાય તેમ વિભાવ અનાદિનો જ્ઞાન થતા દૂર થાય.
Koti. Koti is not that koti you wear. Koti actually means crore. But now Atmasiddhi Shastra is an international scripture. So I won't be able to say crore. Only few Indians will understand. So koti varshnu, varsh meaning year, koti means crore, but here I am saying of million years. Swapnapan, a dream may be, meaning a dream of million years, may be a dream of million years. Jagrat thata samay, disappears on awakening. Dream કેટલું છે? Say 1 million years, say. So how much time does it take to destroy? How much time does it take for the dream to vanish, disappear? How much time? So it disappears on awakening. Tem, similarly. Vibhav meaning delusion. Delusion means in general, belief delusion, conduct delusion, but delusion, or simple word, impurity. Them, similarly, impurity, anadino, of beginningless time, and are famous since time immemorial. Of beginningless time, how? How much time? You said instantly on awakening. But how? Gnan thata, as soon as right knowledge is attained, dur thai, disappears, gets vanished. I've not written destroyed because for dreams we don't use the word destroy. When I woke up, my dream got destroyed. We don't say that. We say it disappeared or it's vanished. So I'm using the same word which I use for the dream, disappears. So, dur thai, disappears. Short. As a dream of millions of years vanishes as soon as one awakens, Similarly, delusion prevailing since infinity vanishes as one attains enlightenment. So simple. The first point is the example or analogy, and in the second is explaining how and how much time, both. Clear? So soul has been with impurities, or you can say soul has spent infinite time in the past in an impure state. Impurities from beginning this time, you cannot even say millions of years. Beginning less, anadi, no adi only, no beginning only. Since beginningless time or since infinity, the soul has spent infinite time in the past in an impure state. But the soul will not require the same amount of time to eliminate the impurity. You understand? Infinite past does not mean infinite time in future. It will not require the same amount of time to eliminate that impurity. How do you say so? So, beautiful example, a dream of million years disappears on waking up. The instance of waking, it disappears. Similarly, impurities present in the soul since infinite times disappear when the soul attains. When the soul attains, yes. See, this verse is after 113. So, you can say Keval Gnan also. The moment you attain Keval Gnan. But then what happens when you attain self-realization? So I would choose, and Pujya Shri Ambalal Bhai has interpreted in that way. He has not written omniscience, but he has written self-realization. Atma Gnan, not Keval Gnan. So, similarly, the impurities, once the faith delusion, deluding feelings or faith delusion karmas are destroyed, you are awakened. You are considered awake. You understand? So, infinite time of the past, the impurity of the infinite times in the past will not require infinite time in future to destroy, vanish, eliminate, disappear. With a beautiful example. You need to know 2-3 things before I start the verse. I have not started yet. Just explain the significance, but not explain the meaning yet. So, we see many factories. They have machines. Once set in operation, it works day in and day out, continuously for days, months, years. Right? We have seen factories. Factories have machinery, and those machines, once set in operation, and it works continuously. So, say the machines have been working since 12 years. Say continuously, day in and day out. Or say every day, continuously. How many years? 12 years. Now, to stop the machines functioning, how many years will you need? No, you didn't understand. It has been working day in and day out continuously since 12 years. And to stop it, how much time? It has been operating since 12 years. How much time will it need to stop? 1 second, you say? How? Just switch the power off. And the machines stop instantly. I'm not using the word moment, second, minutes. I'm saying instantly. અહીંયા સ્વિચ બંધ કરી અને બંધ થઈ જાય. You understood one thing? Same thing goes with, say, spacecrafts. Okay, so billions of dollars spent to create that spacecraft. It's in motion. Technical snag. They would either repair it from here or blast it. How much time will it take? It's been in space, say, since few months. And now it wants to blast it. How many months will it take? Again, see, are you understanding what you are answering? You are saying karma bandhne bahut time lage, પણ કર્મ ખલાસ કરવામાં instantly કરી શકાય. કરતા નથી એ જુદી વાત છે. In fact, I would go further and say, okay, if you want to switch the power off in a factory or spacecraft, factory boliye, it is in your hands when you want to do it. રાતના 12 વાગે. You don't have to see any chogadia for that or murat for that. Whenever it is in your hands, and it can be a hand of a kid of, say, 8 years old. Only 8 years old. Papu, because you are the youngest here, no? So, Papu, આ સ્વિચ બંધ કરજે. પપ્પુ બી કરી શકે. ટુ સેટ અપ ફેક્ટરી પપ્પુનું કામ છે. પપ્પુમાં એટલી બુદ્ધિ છે. વોટ આર યુ? નો એજ ને શું છે? તું એન્જિનિયર છે, સીએ છે, તો તું ફેક્ટરી નાખી શકે? એક એન્જિનિયર છે તો બી નહીં નાખી શકે. ઓકે. So what do you learn? Spellings, or what do you learn in the whole course? If you can't design a machine, if you can't execute, but okay, fine. Papu, you can switch it off. Even Papu can do. So you should just know how. Switch kya છે અને સ્વિચને શું કરવાનું, ઉપર કરવાનું કે નીચે કરવાનું, wherever you are in US or you are in India. But if you know where and how, even Papu can do. You don't need a very, very intelligent person, a learned person. You should know how to switch it off. Basically, Papu. Why I'm using the word Papu? Because even an 8-year-old kid, if I tell Bathu also, કે રૂમમાં જે સ્વિચ છે જરા બેટા બંધ કરીને આવ, and if she knows what is the meaning of switch, where the switch lies, તો એટલું. So an 8-year-old can attain Kevalnan. I'm not even saying Atmagnan. 8 વર્ષે દીક્ષા લઈ કેવલનાથ. But she should know how and when. Spacecraft એમ જતો એને પટ કરીને દબાવી દે એમ નહીં. When to blast it or when to switch the power off, I should know. Good. Now I go to ચેતન મશીનરી, ચાલો એનિમેટ ઇનએનિમેટ હમણાં નથી બોલતો. ચેતન મશીનરી. I talked about Judd machines. Judd machines, factory, spacecrafts. Now I'm talking about Chetan machines. Chetan machinery also works continuously, acquiring karmas. The doer of karmas, right? We learned three things: doer of karma, enjoyer or endurer of karmas, and karmathi mukti is possible. And how it is possible, we are on that sixth fundament. I talked about third, fourth, and fifth, all regarding karma. Doer of karma, receiver of the fruits of karma, and karma thi mukti is possible. How? Shubha Shubha Cheta, Ubje Moksha Sabhav. But karma-less state is also possible, called liberation. So now I'm talking about Chetan machinery, like how the machines in the factory were working continuously. Even the Chetan machinery is continuously working. Even in the sleep, you are acquiring karmas. Even during satsang, you are acquiring karmas. Those Shubha, the auspicious one. But constant, this Chetan machinery does not stop. Maybe administering the anesthesia and all, you can make the body go in a sleep state. What happens? The sensory signals which the body was sending to the soul stops. But that does not mean the soul has stopped its machinery of acquiring karmas or of bondage, creating bondage, manufacturing bondage. That machinery goes on even when you are asleep, even when you are under the influence of anesthesia. The only thing is the body, sending the sensory signals, the Chetan might not pick because of whatever the situation is. But the machinery is constantly working. The only two differences I see in the Judd machinery and the Chetan machinery. Number one, I can send someone, I can delegate the work. Apurvaji, can you switch the light off? So, I can delegate and I can you can send someone to do that job. But when it comes to Chetan machinery, I cannot say, "Ne mitu jara maro karma band je thaya kare je e band kari apne." Not even my Sadguru. You have to put the effort. So switching off, if you say, that lies in your hand. This is the first difference I see in Judd machinery and Chetan machinery. एक phone call thi I can do it. I can tell the watchman there, factory, कि जरा machine बंद करी दो, light बंद करी दो, whatever. But when it comes to stopping the bondage, I cannot tell someone to do. I can't delegate. I have to put, it has to be self-effort. This is the first thing. Second difference, and the main difference, from there I'll start the verse. The second difference being, see, every factory is designed to manufacture something. Say there's a factory who is manufacturing iron spare parts. Lokanna. So I have to say the same thing if I ask you. Okay, let's keep it spare parts only. Lokanna spare parts, iron spare parts, mate, I have set up a factory. The whole machinery, it's designed to manufacture iron spare parts. But I cannot expect कि अटली मोगी machines में नाखी छे तो let it weave cloth today. Let it weave cloth for say 3 months. It is designed to manufacture iron spare parts, it will. But હું કંઈ યાન નાખું અને એમાંથી a cloth is woven, that a machine, jad machinery cannot do. It has that limited scope only. It will produce day and night for months, for years, but it will produce the stuff for what it is designed. Nothing else. So expecting something else is also foolishness. But when it comes to Chetan machinery, it can produce anger, it can produce exactly the opposite, forgiveness. I've used this word, pure modifications and impure, exactly the opposite. So this was iron and something exactly opposite of iron a machine cannot produce. But Chetan machinery can. Swabhavik parivartan, modifications, Vaibhavik modifications. If you find it difficult, then I'll go to verse 104. Krodh, I can produce krodh. This Chetan machinery, some situation arises, this machine can produce intense anger. And if I choose to let go, I can produce intense forgiveness, compassion, love. No jad machines can do that. You have to decide what should come out of it. You design it, and that happens. That goes on happening. I'm not saying infinity, but for years. But when it comes to Chetan machine, it's in your hands. Whatever you need to produce, this Chetan machinery can produce. Second, શું હતું anger પછી? Huh? Pride. I'm working on your pride, it seems. So pride, I can produce pride. I can go on ego trips and hurt and hate people for small things. And if I contemplate on my Sadguru's teachings, I can go on the path of humility, modesty. I realize that it is my wrong expectations and nothing else. And the whole thing changes. The modification of the soul changes. If the Chetan decides, Chetan jo Nij Bhan ma, Varte nahi Nij Bhan ma, my choice. So I told someone, I don't recollect whom. Someone in America only. Email હતો 2 દિવસ પહેલા કે બાપા your one sentence. So he must have said that there are a lot of challenges in my life. I said, don't use the word challenges. There are a lot of choices in my life. You are free to choose every time. તને દુઃખી થવું હોય તો દુઃખી થા, તને સુખી થવું હોય તો સુખી થા. In the same situation, without changing the situation, you can change the production. So, email, I'm forgetting who sent me that email, but 2 days back, okay, Bapa, that one sentence of yours in some US trip, and I don't see challenges now. Every time I see choices, whether I'm making a wrong choice or I'm making a right choice. The feelings after the decision, from that I realize whether I have made a wrong choice or a right choice. Whole life you can go on making wrong choice and just sympathize with yourself and complain for the world. The biggest sin. 2 sins. 2 big sins in life. Blaming others and taking credit for everything. 2 big sins. ગાથામાં નથી, વર્સમાં નથી, બટ હવે યાદ આવ્યું એટલે કહું છું. 2 big sins. ક્રાઇમ બોલવું હોય તો બી ચાલશે. What? Blaming others and taking credit for everything. Small thing also taking credit. You know this idea was passed on by him to me, but I will say, okay, this is my suggestion. You want to take credit for it. Lambu lambu kya kare? No, this is a sin. This is a sin. Lambu thai to lambu because it didn't come out from you, then you have to express your gratitude. If not gratitude, also at least mention that I'm just delivering someone's idea to you. But you want to take the credit of it. Two big sins. Forget it. Chal. So the Chetan machinery has a choice every time. It is designed for what? It is designed for feelings. But you have to choose the feelings. Ya thought nako, our feelings bar nikals. Simple. Negative thoughts, negative feelings. Now don't expect that you will remain calm and happy because your thinking is negative, so the feelings have to be negative. This is it. So if you put right effort, you can transform delusion, the strength of delusion into the strength of Keval Gnan. Exactly. You have to do that. You have to put in the right effort of faith, knowledge, and conduct. Darshan, Gnan, Charitra. But right, Samyak. And you can change in a flash of a moment, I can say. Don't take me literally. So 1 second ma Keval Gnan thai jaye. But in a flash of a moment, or say short time, you can transform delusion into Keval Gnan. For this, Param Kripaludev has explained this whole thing in a simple worldly example. Simple example of a dream in this verse. Koti varshnu swapna. I start the verse now, but end at the right time. So beautiful. Explained. The entire sequence, how the pursuit of Samyak Darshan transforms into Siddhahood, ultimate. From Samyak Darshan, 108, to say Keval Gnan. Let's take Keval Gnan as Siddhi. So Samyak Darshan to Siddhi, the whole sequence can be attained instantly, and this is explained by a wonderful example of Koti Varshnu Swapna Pan. Koti, millions. Swapna. So when a person is not fast asleep, but asleep. Understanding, right? When you are not awake, you are sleeping, but you are not fast asleep. That is the time your subconscious mind is functional. Because you are sleeping, conscious mind is not functional. Different stages of the mind. So conscious mind is not functional when you are sleeping. But because you are not fast asleep, what happens? Your conscious mind is functional. That is called a dream state. Where you are not awake, where you are not fast asleep. Jagrat panne, sushupt panne. Jagrat panne, that state of wakefulness is also not there. And state of deep sleep is also not there. But you are understanding the state? Where your subconscious mind is so active, it is functional, it actually dreams, it actually weaves his fantasies, and he feels everything is real because the dreamer is the part of the dream. So till he is dreaming, everything is real for him. It becomes unreal when he wakes up on awakening. But till he is dreaming, he actually participates. The dreamer participates, becomes a part of the dream, weaves fantasies, so many unfulfilled desires, all getting fulfilled in the dream. So Param Kripadev is giving an example of this dream. So when you are not awake, when you are not fast asleep, that is a dream state. In the dream state, the subconscious is functional and everything seems real till you are dreaming. There can be dreams which makes sense. There can be dreams which makes no sense. Nonsense bole? Okay. There can be dreams which make sense, like Trishula Mata got 14 dreams. And then, yeah. There can be dreams which make no sense. My favorite example. Elephant wearing polka. 2004 no example. Say. And you all must be so navra that time because it was a meditation retreat. So these examples everyone remembers. Everyone. So he had some desires and they were unfulfilled. You know, there was a lady with a red dress and white polka dots. Polka dots, sometimes khabar samjhai chhe? Samjhai? Okay. So, and he wanted to talk to that girl and finally it didn't happen. So that desire remained unfulfilled. So it went into the subconscious mind, the dress. Then you know, I used to explain it at length. I don't have time now. But एक elephant जोए, and finally in his dream he gets an elephant wearing a red dress with polka dots and all 2-3 things, you know. So sometimes you feel mane aaj weird dream આવ્યો. Because બધું તુટલું ફૂટલું કચરો નાખતા ક્યાં ને subconscious and you don't do pratikaman. You don't have time for pratikaman. So nothing is erased. So it goes away from the conscious mind, but it is not erased. It goes into the subconscious mind. And everything creeps up and, you know, ekdam weird dreams tarike aave. So some dreams they make sense. Some dreams don't make sense. Some dreams are very, very short, maybe lasting for seconds only. Some dreams are very long. You feel as to આખી રાત એવું બને નહીં પણ તમને એમ લાગે આખી રાત એવું ખરાબ સપનું આવ્યું ને હવે સુવા જઈશ બ્રેકફાસ્ટ પછી whole night I was awake dreaming. And imagine Kumbhakarna used to sleep for 6 months. તો એના dreams કેટલા મોટા હશે? Ravan's brother Kumbhakarna. So it's another story. So instead of asking Indrasan, he asked Nindrasan, and then he was granted that boon and finally sleeps for 6 months. So if Kumbhakarna had to dream, his dreams would last for days maybe. Many days. You understand? આજે જ કોઈની સાથે વાત કરતો હતો કે દેવલોકમાં કેટલું દુઃખ હોય. આમ તો સુખદ સુખ હોય. પણ when the dev has to die, તો એ વખતે કેટલું દુઃખ હોય. How does a dev die? એક છીંક ખાય અને મરી જાય. એને હાર્ટ અટેક ના આવે. કોઈ દેવને ડાયાબિટીસ છે, બ્લડ પ્રેશર છે, હાર્ટ અટેક આવે? નો. છીંક જેટલું દુઃખ, that is the highest દુઃખ in દેવલોક. Sneeze. And એક જ વાર જિંદગીમાં millions of yearsમાં એક જ વખત છીંક ખાય, and that is the end of that devta state. તો પણ આત્મા યાદ નથી આવતા. આટલું સુખ છે અને જ્યાં સુખ હોય ત્યાં બી ફીલ કે શાંતિ તો હોય જ ને. બધું જ સુખ હોય તો શાંતિ તો હોય જ ને. Okay, that's not my subject today. So, તો ડ્રીમમાં તમે કોઈ વાર દેવતા બન્યા છે એમ બનો તો મરો તો છીંક ખાઈને મરજો. છીંક ખાઈને દેહ છોડે. And that's the highest dukh in Devlok. Imagine. આમ માની નહીં શકાય કે અરે એક ભાવમાં I might be a professor. good orator, wonderful speeches. And the next bhav, I can become bobda, dumb, mute. Ek bhavma I can be this, next bhavma I can manushya, next businessman, and next bhavma I can become a dukkar, swine. So today as a human, I might be in love with my son, grandson, daughter, granddaughter. So next bhavma I become kutri and I start loving the galudiyas, puppies. As Abhay is loving Shiv, પેલું તો વચમાં તો માઇનસ જ કરી દે છે. So Abhay might be loving Shiv, say, God forbid, but say next Brahma becomes a kutra or kutri or something, he'll start loving the galudia, the puppies, exactly the same way. Vritti does not change. The way it is expressed changes, but vritti remains the same. Sad, no? દેવલોકમાં જાય તો દેવી માટે થાય. ભૂંડના ભાવમાં, કૃપાદેવનો શબ્દ છે, ભૂંડના ભાવમાં જાય એટલે પિગ. તો ભૂંડની ઉપર એને એટલો જ પ્રેમ થાય. આઈ ડોન્ટ વોન્ટ એની વન. આઈ ડોન્ટ ઇવન વોન્ટ ઐશ્વર્યા રાય. આઈ વોન્ટ ધેટ ભૂંડની. ધેટ શું કહેવાય? પિગ. ફિમેલ પિગ. ફિમેલ પિગ. એટલો જ પ્રેમ. અને ચક્રવર્તી બને તો ચક્રવર્તીની માટે, એની પત્ની માટે. અને દેવ બને તો દેવી માટે, કૂતરો બને તો કૂતરી માટે, ને ભૂંડ બને તો ભૂંડની માટે. એન્ડ ધીસ ઇઝ ધ વે ટ્રાન્સમાઇગ્રેશન. આ તો સદગુરુ ભગવાન મળે તો કાંઈ you get feelings of grief for ભવે ખેદ ભવન નિબ્બેઓ મગ્ગાનું સાર્યા ઇઠ્ઠ સિદ્ધિ લોક વિરુદ્ધ ચાઓ ગુરુજન પુઆ પરત કર્ણમ સુખ ગુરુ જોગો તબ વયન સેવના આ પૌમકણ તારા વચનની સેવા, તારી આજ્ઞાનું આરાધન. Okay, I'm drifting away from the verse. I have 5 more minutes. So, I talked about the dream. Short dreams, long dreams. ભગવાન અહીંયા કહે છે કોટી વર્ષનું સ્વપ્ન. Say the longest ever dream of million years will not take time to disappear unless you don't awaken. But if you wake up instantly, a dream of million years can vanish instantly in a flash of a moment. Beautiful. A dream can end in a moment on awakening, and vibhav, meaning delusion or impurities, or anadino of, keep the inverted, and since time immemorial, or since infinity, can vanish instantly on attaining enlightenment. કેવલ વખતે તો ઓમનિસેન્સ વખતે તો ઓર જ વાત છે, પણ ઓન એનલાઇટનમેન્ટ, ઓન અટેનિંગ સમ્યક દર્શન, ઇટ કેન વેનિશ. Because Anantanubanthi impurity is vanishing, no? We talked about it yesterday. Anantanubanthi goes and the Mithyatva also goes. So if Anantanubanthi is gone, you are in a very, very safe zone. You might attain moksha in 3 or 15 maximum. વધારેમાં વધારે 15 ભાવ. વધારેમાં વધારે. ઓછામાં ઓછું એ જ ભાવના અંતે મોક્ષ. Moksha meaning here siddhavastha. You can. But weak efforts, janmatehana alp. 3, 15 maximum. So just imagine virtually everything is over. See, millions of bhav and now only 15, you can start dancing and celebrating. Virtually your transmigration is over. It's end of your transmigration. Right? So Samyak Drashti Jeev now has no fear of his next birth or everything. Ek hoy to hoy janmate hana alp. See how every verse is so interwoven, so related. Right? So, tema vibhavanadino, if you awaken to your true nature, which will be explained in verse 116 and 117. What is your true nature? We talked a lot of the state of liberation, but that's just a modification. It was not there, it is there now. Moksha was not there, now moksha is there after removing the impurities. But what about your pure eternal nature? You should focus on that. So verse 116 and 17 is going to explain what is your true nature. This is your true nature, Bhagavan will say, and then end with kar vichar topam. Now you contemplate over it, get absorbed in meditation and attain liberation. But this is the true nature. Kar vichar topam. So beautiful. So, you are in that deep slumber of ignorance, in a dream state. So, your I-ness and your my-ness, everything is in a distorted vision, right? You feel the body is I, you feel your siblings are mine. This house is mine. That red car, is it yet working? Millions of years कितना थे? Millions of seconds तो खरीद ने. So that is my car. कोई એમાં આમ ચા પીવાનું ગ્લાસ રાખે તો ઉપર, મારી ગાડી ઉપર ચાનો ગ્લાસ રાખે તો. So I and my, all this is dream state. Not of million years, since time immemorial. Beginningless, infinity. Dream state. And it disappears on awakening, on enlightenment, awakening to your true nature. Beautiful. Dark room, the darkness in the room is since many, many years, but a single ray of light can brighten the whole room instantly. So how much time? Instantly. So beautiful. So we are blind. Blind meaning, why blind? Why am I saying blind? Eyes સરસ છે, ચશ્મા બી નથી. Why are you telling me blind, calling me blind? Ignorance. Ignorance grips us like a pall. You know what's a pall, right? Cloth tied to the coffin, that casket. એ જે કપડું આપણે શું કહીએ? ડેડ બોડીને કપડું, શું કહેવાય? Okay, that cloth is called pall. So it's like the pall. It descends on our mind, the pall of ignorance. It descends on our mind. It clouds our intelligence, buddhi, and masks our awareness. But on enlightenment, when the truth strikes, you understand, right? न समझाए तो मारा हाथ जोई लेजो तो you'll understand. When the truth strikes and the veil of ignorance is torn, and then we realize what we really are, and then the whole outlook changes. Then you feel, but the whole life is an acting. I'm just an actor with entrances and exits. So, during their marriage, Asthashna's marriage, I said, can the mama exit? Can the mama exit? I've helped you everywhere, choosing your life partner, everywhere. Whatever I could do, I did everything. Now can the mama exit? Mama had to enter the stage whenever they were born. What was it? Which year was it? 93. So before there was nothing like mama. There was no role of mama. But in 93, the mama had to enter the stage. So I asked them if I can exit. I can exit? No, the mama can exit. Now everything is like actor and I am a pure soul with a specific role. Bas. So beautiful. So wonderfully Bhagavan explains, a dream of million years can vanish instantly on awakening. Similarly, state of delusion can vanish on enlightenment. Let's sing.
કોટી વર્ષનું સ્વપ્ન પણ જાગ્રત થતા શમાય તેમ વિભાવ અનાદિનો જ્ઞાન થતા દૂર થાય